Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about CSS Flexbox. CSS Flexbox is a layout module that comes with CSS, and I think it's an extremely powerful tool to control the layout of your page. Now to get started, I will make an HTML file again, and I will also make a CSS file. And I will put our HTML boilerplate in here, and I will also link the style sheet to the HTML file. So to get started, I would like to show you these CSS Flexbox properties, and in order to do that, I will make a div, and I will give it a class of red div container. And in that div, we will have a red div, or actually 3 of them. And now I will say red div. I will give it the background color of red, a min width of 10em, and also just a normal width. And I'll do the same for the height. So now I can open this file in my browser, and I'll also give it a margin of 1em, so we see that those are separate divs. Now, currently the divs are in a column, you could say. They are positioned below each other. But let's say we want to have them in a row. We can use Flexbox for that. And we have to make sure that the divs we want to target are inside another div in this case. So these are the children of this div. So we're going to put the Flexbox properties on this div. So I will go back in my CSS, and I will say display flex, and I'll see what happens. Boom. By default, it puts the children position in a row. However, if you want to go back to the column, or at least want to have them position it under each other, you can use flex direction column, and there you go. Now I will remove this for now, and I would like to introduce you to the next property, which is justify content. So you will use this a lot because let's say we want to have these divs centered on the page. We can use justify content center. And another one, because if you see right here, we've got a lot of options. But most of the time you will be using center or space between. And this is very handy because it looks to the space it has available and then tries to spread the children, so these divs, evenly across that space. Next up, we have align items. Now, for that, I will make a change to the second div. I will call this red tall div. And I will just copy these styles. However, I will make the height to 15em. There we go. So now you see the items are aligned on the top. Now, if I want to have them centered, I can go back to my parent, and I can say align items center, and now we will put it centered relatively to each other. Another one, you might come across often is baseline. And sometimes you want to align, for example, a piece of text with an image, and center then won't do it for you, but baseline in a lot of cases will work. But again, that's not no guarantee, but you will also see these often in code bases. The next one I'm going to show you, and I will first remove that tall div. Set it back to normal again. There we go. The next one I would like to show you is flex rep. So let's say we have 6 of these divs. Now you see we have this this horizontal scroll bar, and this is something a lot of people don't want by default, because this also causes that when you are on a mobile phone and you start to scroll, if you scroll a little bit from left to right, you are able to, well, kind of like move away from the page, and in a lot of cases you don't want that. So there's actually some people that put like this in their application. They say body, and they put the property overflow hidden, which results in the user not being able to scroll either, not horizontally anymore. So to prevent this, because right now we have, well, we want to display 6 divs, but we can only see 4.5. So we can use the flex rep property, set it to rep, and I'll see what happens. Boom. It automatically spreads the divs, and it puts it on a new line, you could say. Now, we can remove this property, and you will see it will just remove the gap right here in between. Now, if I open up the inspector or the DevTools, now you will see that, and that's the nice thing of Flexbox, it already is somewhat responsive if in nature, if you use it properly. So right now we can move the width of the screen and the content will change with it. So that's also great about Flexbox, that in a lot of cases it will already give you the power of responsive design. So I will go back to the normal view, and the last property I'd like to show you is simply the flex property. For that, I will remove the last 3 divs we added. And now I could say, let's remove this one as well. Now I could, and this is different from most of the other ones, because we were setting the properties on the parent of the divs, the flex items. But this one we need to set on the div item itself, so in the children. So here I can say flex 1, and this will so this will automatically make use of the available space. So you see both of them are equally in width. Now let's say I want this one to be a little wider than the other 2. I can say red wide div, and I could copy these styles, and I could say flex 2, and I'll see what happens. Boom. This one is a little bit bigger, or actually twice as big, and this sometimes is nice if you want to say I want to have certain content 2/3 of the available space, or there's a lot of variations, but that's also a property I wanted to show you. So it might be, because this is of course a very simple example with using square divs, But let's take a look at the page we are going to build in a few lessons from now, and how Flexbox can help us out here. So right here, we will just break this page down. We will just leave this navbar for what it is, or, well, let's say the phone header. Right here we have a small icon, a logo, and again an image, a profile image. So what we could do, we could say these are 3 separate items. We could wrap them in a div, and we could say display flex, so that they will be displayed in a row. And then we can say justify content between, and that will evenly spread them across the available width. So here we just got a p tag, nothing special here. Input field. Now here again, we have, this is a part where you can scroll to the side. But yeah, also here we could use Flexbox. So some people, including me, will probably opt for using an unordered list of list items, which you will might not have heard about before, because we haven't talked about it yet. But we'll definitely get to it. But again, here, these are children, and they are wrapped inside a div, and that div will have a property display flex, and they are in a row automatically. Right here, we have a sort of card, you could say. And how I would style this, I would say, okay, I see this card has a left side, these two, this title and the shop now, and the image right here. And if we wrap this in a div, and say the image doesn't need to be wrapped in a div, but if we say on that card, we could say display flex row, and that will automatically set this one to the left side, bring that one to the right side. Same goes for this part, featured products, see all. Again, display flex, and then say justify content between, and that will make sure that these are well, properly have a proper distance from each other. And these cards, they do not necessarily need to be styled with Flexbox, but that's just to give you a little bit of an idea how we can use Flexbox to structure our web pages. I see you in the next one.